Welcome back to the Quantum Guide Show. Today we travel deep into the topic of unseen guides and paranormal contact. And I had two guests arranged for today, but neither one of them could make it. So I'm very happy to tell everybody about my mystery guest. But before I do that, I just want to remind people that channel memberships are now available. So you can help to support my channel and receive my perks and become part of the Quantum Guide Show and Aliens and Angels family. And let me see. Sorry, what else did I forget to say? Um, sorry. I'm definitely not at my best today, but I'm lucky because I'm very happy to bring on our mystery guest who's here to help me with this show today. I know you guys are pretty crazy about her. So here we have Joan Widen. Joan, welcome back. So long time no see.
Long time no see. 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who missed it, Joan and I did the Unseen Nexus podcast yesterday, and we talked about all kinds of cool stuff. So you want to check that out. I'm just going to quickly check in with the live chat. We've got Denise, who is here. She's our wonderful mechanic. She's got her little wrench there, and she makes sure there's no shenanigans in the chat, and she puts out all the notifications, and she's just absolutely wonderful. And then we also have Fearlessly Phoenixing. Hey, Denise, I'll be back for the show. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Denise says, come in, everyone. Please hit the like button and share out and subscribe. Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. You can help to support my work with buymeacoffee.com / Karen Holton TV if you want to help to cover some of my expenses. And of course, as I mentioned, support my work. And this is really important. December 14th this year is Members Day, and I'm having both members and regulars to be my special guests on the Aliens and Angels podcast. Nothing fancy, just come hang out. If you like, I will post the link in the live chat at the beginning of the show so that you all can find us. Let's see who else we got. Fearlessly says, I asked the hubs and he said that nothing was planned and that he will make sure everything is good so that I can be there. Awesome. Thank you so much. Fearlessly also says, do we need to download StreamYard or is it just the link one uses to connect into it? Well, Fearlessly, you do not need, none of you need to have StreamYard downloaded or active or anything like that. Basically, I will just click the link and put it in the live chat. You guys click on it. It'll give you a chance to adjust your settings. I'll be reminding everyone to make sure you click the noise cancellation button, and you can have a fancy background if you want or not. And you just go enter the stream, whatever it says, and then you're on. That easy. You don't have to dress up. You don't have to have anything special to say. You don't have to have any kind of fancy experiences. We're just going to come together, hang out, talk about stuff, and actually sort of meet each other face to face. But again, you're not obligated at all. So yeah, Fearlessly Phoenixing on Rumble says, here we go for another show. Make sure you're hitting that like button and sharing. And she's reminding everybody also on YouTube. Let's see, just going to see if we missed anybody. Denise. Oh, Denise, don't worry about yesterday. You can't possibly make it to every show. And I totally get that. So I love you no matter what, girlfriend. I got your back. And Fearlessly says she's only ever used Restream before. No, this is going to be very simple. And I'll be right there so to troubleshoot if we need it. So I think that's it for the getting the chat going. I'm just going to put on a banner here to remind people to smash the like button, subscribe, comment, and share this podcast with your family and friends. So, yeah, so we're in December. Where the heck did this year go, guys? Where did this year go? I am not kidding. It's like gone scary fast. Some people, paranormal people, are saying that the Earth is actually spinning faster. Time really is going faster, that we're not hallucinating it. But I'm not sure. What's your thoughts, Joan?
It has actually, the beginning of the year kind of was a little bit slow.
Yeah.
And then as soon as like summer hit, it just kind of went kabang. And maybe it's
Yeah.
because of all the shit that's going on in the world at the moment, right? Like it all kind of hit over the summer and then now, and it's just nonstop. Whereas at the beginning of the year was what, just the election and stuff, which
Yeah.
people weren't really giving a crap about until we are. And now it's like nuts.
It is nuts. Like I used to follow, there used to be maybe in past years, it used to be that maybe within a 3-month period we had an earthquake, or we had some kind of a flood somewhere, or we had some kind of a scandal. And then
Mhm.
it got to be every week, and now it's every day, something different. And in politics in Canada, which I'm not going to get into too much because it's just too depressing, it's crap happening every single day.
Yeah, and
And
it's not just Canada, it's the world,
yeah.
right? The world. Everyone just needs to play nice. It's all I
Mm,
gotta say.
mhm. Yeah, well, there are some that aren't going to do that. There's a
No.
lot of horrible things going on in the world. I try not to talk too much about the horrible things on my shows because, first of all, it doesn't seem to help. It just puts
Yeah.
everybody in in a depressed state. This is cute. Helena says, "Politics in Sweden, Jesus help us." I knows the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
We knows
Right?
but yeah, it's nuts. So basically these people that somehow got themselves into positions of power, they're just running amok. They're just doing whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
stealing, running amok, and somehow they believe they're above a
The law.
line where they're not going to get caught or busted. But personally, I see the whole thing is going to come crashing down. I don't know. What's your thoughts? I know in January we're going to really do a good show all about predictions, but do you have any initial thoughts,
My
Joan?
thoughts are people are getting sick and tired of just going, rules for me are not for thee.
Yes,
Right? And so
exactly.
that's what that's I'll leave it as that because that's what it feels like. Everyone is had enough. And because of the internet, they are getting caught versus before no one would know because mainstream wouldn't stream it, wouldn't
Hmm.
publish it
Hmm.
in black and white, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's really
Yeah.
what it is. Oh,
And as Helena points out, the world is awakening. Absolutely. This is waking people up. And I don't want to get into it too much. I've already covered the ostrich farm, but oh my God, what a
oh,
travesty. I got to the point I couldn't watch any videos. I couldn't look at any news about it. It just made me sick. And that doesn't do anybody any good. So
well, I just don't understand. The US was willing to take them. Why didn't they just let them go? Right? Like,
yep.
come on. I think Dr. Oz was going, I'll take them.
Hmm.
Right? Oh, one thing we talked about yesterday, and I'm going to say it today, is your Karen's having a sale, guys. and make sure you get your stuff, right? Your
Argon generators.
organ generators.
Yeah, there's only four more days to the sale.
Karen's
And
got
for
the
those
chakra
of
one in her
sorry, go
hand.
ahead, Joan.
I said Karen's got the chakra one in her hand. I have the shungite one, right? And
Joan,
yeah.
do you mind if I just do a quick 1-minute promotion for my orgone generators?
Go
And then
ahead.
we'll come right back to the show and we'll get into our invisible contacts that we're going to talk about today. Oh, isn't that nice? Thank you, Denise. Yeah, Denise won first and third prize for our member giveaway that I held a couple of months ago. So I was really happy that she ended up winning. I used a random number generator, so it was like totally fair, and she totally won. Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you guys just a little heads up. And so for the next 3 days until the end of November, these are all 40% off. Are you looking for the perfect, unique seasonal gift? Check out Zendome's Orgonite. They are my unique brand of orgone generators, and they are affordable, ethically sourced, handmade, and double charged for maximum effect. They are only available through my website, KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. These beautiful devices are simple compounds which balance ambient energy by converting negative energy and EMF into positive healing energy with many easily confirmed health benefits. They help diminish the harmful effects of negative energies and EMF by attracting and converting them, retuning them into new and more healthful sound and light wave patterns. They also produce orgone energy, which is also known as chi, prana, zero point, and life force. And you can use these devices for focusing the mind, healing, meditation, and for spiritual growth. Zendome's Orgonite are my unique brand of orgone generators, and they are only available through my website. Don't be fooled by imitations. Check out my website to see my latest selection at KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com. That's KarenHolton Healthcoach.com. Check them out today. We're back. So there you have it. So yeah, and besides, I just want everyone to know that since I'm actually offering 40% off, I'm actually not making any money on the sale at all. It's just to clear some stock, put a little bit of money that I paid for them. I designed them and a friend of mine built them or created them for me. And they were in a rough spot financially, and I had come into a little bit of money. So I invested and bought everything he could make for me. And then he stopped making it, and I still have quite a bit of stock. So I wanted to clear some of my investment and get a little bit of my money back, but I'm not making anything on them because I wanted to give everyone an opportunity to really experience them without them being too expensive. And then once they see them, then they know the difference. So, yeah, so let's see, let's just check the chat.
And they are different. So they are different than your typical, I'm going to say.
Well, thank you.
Very
Thank you
beautiful.
very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. So let's get on with the show. We're going to talk about invisible guides and the whole phenomena. And I'm going to just start off by saying that I am aware that my eyes only see a very small, limited amount of the light spectrum. My ears only are able to detect very, very small spectrum of the sound. My sense of touch is the electromagnetic field, very, very limited. And because of that, I think there's a whole lot going on in the greater reality that we're not aware of. So just because we can't see it, taste it, hear it, touch it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So I thought I'll just turn it over to you, Joan. What's your thoughts on invisible guides?
That is actually really Good. Like, so this morning, oddly, like I still woke up with my headache or whatever. But so on the way home from the chiropractor, I had closed my eyes and I thought, okay, I'm going to like relax my eyes, let this go away. And so for not very many people are visual. So I would still consider this an invisible guide. I saw two ravens and I was like, oh, interesting. And they were kind of perched. And then they turned and they looked at me. And I went, oh, yeah, I see you. And then it's like they zoomed in. And the one, he was like turned and he looked and his eye, like, he's like, look at my eye. And his eye got bigger as it got closer to me. So I'm like, oh, okay. You want me to have your ravens bird's eye view, have a look, see, right? And so these are just the subtle ways of how unseen guides can be. It can be in your mind's eye, and we don't think about it because we think, oh, that was just a dream I had. Or, I thought I saw a raven in the sky, and I guess I'm just putting two to two together, and that's why I saw it in my head, right? Just like if I were to say pink elephant, everyone just saw a pink elephant and they think, well, it's just because my mind made it, right? But that's not necessarily it. Unseen guides, they come in and they give us some guidance. And some people have asked, and I'm sure they've asked you, how can you tell if it's your guide or it's like you have schizophrenia or something, right? And not knocking anyone that has a mental illness, but the difference is it gives you guidance to better your life and not ask you to do things that spiral your life, if that makes sense, right? Whereas the other one, it can ask you to do nefarious things, and it but that also, and this is the fine line, is that also could be a negative entity that has come into your space, right? And now, again, I am not a medical professional, but that in my experience over the years, that is what it is. It's not necessarily schizophrenic.
Absolutely. In fact, now they're finding out, and this is psychiatrists. If you do some research, I'm sure you can find the videos on YouTube where psychiatrists are coming and going, wow, what a mistake. We thought the problem was something defective with the brain. And now we're finding out that it's entity attachments and that demons and nefarious invisible forces are absolutely at play. And then I would also add to that technologies that are human made,
Yes.
like MK Ultra, and they've got all kinds of like microwave equipment and stuff that they can zap people and they get headaches or they get a burning in their skin or they get disoriented. So there's so many things. So yeah, so there's that. And then there's also, what about all the realms? What about all the dimensional
So
realities?
many. And we are in all of
Crazy,
them.
exactly, realities. What about the multiverse? What about the angelic realms? What about, like, I have been obviously to transdimensional realms. I've even written a book about it. Um, And there's millions of people that are now claiming that they're having these experiences. Well, I don't think we could all be hallucinating the same experience. So,
No,
Joan,
especially when it's so specific and it's the same.
yeah, how can that be?
Yeah, especially when you don't know each other. So there's no way that you could meet and confer
Hmm.
to get the story straight, right? That is what people that don't necessarily want to look at it, they're like, no, 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 there's some sort, you guys made this up and you guys collectively got together. But if you go back to even what in the 1930s and whenever the first recorded encounter was, it is very eerily all connected to all the other ones. They all have the same vibe and the same details. Back then, you can't even say like what people wrote each other. How would you know? Because everything was in print, in black and white, and it didn't get printed and sent across the world. Right? So
Yep.
there's so many different things, and even like um, we, I'm getting to say this is like even crop circles can be part of guidance. The individual, like invisible, I mean, guides, right? Because people are drawn to those. Those are some things where maybe those people needed to get that transmission from that guide. So guides don't necessarily make you do anything. Sometimes they're just there to help you open and release and give you an activation so that you are more intuitive for you and honoring your soul to awaken instead of like being a sheep, like a lot of people would say. It's like, well, if you have a guide and you do everything they say, wouldn't that mean you're a sheep and you're following the shepherd? Well, yes and no, because we still have free will choice. And if you're a sheep, there's no free will choice. You got to do what the shepherd says. Otherwise, you get beat. like there's all these different things. Now, I'm not saying there's no consequences when there is given guidance, because there are, because sometimes even if it's on the right path, it could be a bumpy path, but it's because we have to learn different things while we're doing it. Wouldn't you agree, Karen? Because it's not all rainbows and sunshines all the time.
It's not like what Fearlessly just says. She says, "Oh my God, I just had a recall of that day, and oh my God, I had forgotten all about the why until now. Holy snicker snack! Oh my God, it was actually aliens and an abduction, but I can't remember if it took place or fear of." Oh, here we go. Or fear of being taken. I had deep fears of being taken that didn't make human sense since I had been like 2 or 5 years old. I had the same thing. I was aware of what they call the grays, the stereotypical grays, when I was very young. And then I remember it was around the 1970s, they actually had on the news a picture of a gray, and they said some people had reported seeing these beings. And I was so terrified because I'm sure I was taken. Now, most of my ET experiences are very friendly and good, but I had the same terror when I was young. And so I think there's a lot more of us that have been taken than what we realize, but also we don't always have the context so that it's more frightening, maybe, than what it could be because we're terrified. What the hell is going on? I mean, that's got to be an alien abduction. Has got to be the weirdest of the weird. And there's nobody to go to for comfort, for explanation, for us to understand what happened. Well, there is now, but there sure wasn't when we were young.
And
So,
if were, they would
pardon?
throw and if you could, they would throw you in a loony bin. Really, like they would throw you in an asylum because it was like, don't talk like that. Like there's so many things today that we look at in general society and you go, holy man, if this situation now was even 20 years ago, you
Yeah.
would be put in an institution. Just saying.
They they would be doing, which was that's it. I get into that in great detail in my book, but I also just released a bunch of shorts about this, which is excerpts from my book. But they would do psychosurgery where they would literally go in and cut out the part of your brain that allowed you to have those spiritual
Yeah.
experiences. And then in the 1980s, they replaced the psychosurgery, not always, but mostly with pharmaceuticals. People don't even realize. So I'm not, I guess I should clarify here. These are Joan and my opinions are life experiences, but we're not doctors. We cannot give medical advice or anything like that, and we sure don't mean to. So please get the proper care that you all need. So I don't want to say everybody who has symptoms of schizophrenia has actually just had spiritual experiences, but that is what a lot of
But
the
it's a
research is
possibility.
starting to indicate. I just wanted to address what Helena says here. She says, my partner, girlfriend, is an introvert talking to herself in spirits, and she can read my mind and predict the future, and all the things they talk about in the telepathy tapes is 100% truth. And then she also goes on to say here, sorry, I'm trying to get a hold of the live chat here. I would love to hear Karen Holton talk about autism someday. You know what? I will. I absolutely will. So I went through my life until the mid 1990s. I'm not going to get into the whole story here, but I went till the 1990s where I was just told I was stupid, something wrong with me, that I couldn't make my life work, that I couldn't figure things out, that I couldn't understand what was going on, that I couldn't read the room. And I deserved being made fun of and punished for being so stupid. And literally, and it wasn't until the mid 1990s I saw a not a psychiatrist, a psychologist. Her name was Judy Webb. She was in the Comox Valley in Courtney, and she's the one that told me. But she didn't give me any kind of documentation. She didn't give me any instructions on how to deal with it, what it meant. I didn't even know what it meant. And then she ended up going out of business, and there was nobody there to pick up the pieces. So the point is, there are many, 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 many undiagnosed people who are on the spectrum, either ADHD, autism. It's all part of the same spectrum, and we've all slipped through the cracks and taken the brunt of society. So I'm sorry, I don't want to make it too
No,
depressing
it's all
to
good.
say that, but I wanted to say I absolutely believe you, Helena, that your partner is psychic, that she can do everything that's in the telepathy tapes. And thank God she found you, because a lot of us don't find partners because we don't act the way most people expect us to act. And so then, we're stigmatized, generally made fun of, and held back. And it's horrible. But I'll just finish off by saying it could have been a hell of a lot worse for me. At least I'm able to, for short periods of time, pass. I can fake being normal for a very short period of time, but then obviously I'm not. But I don't want to be normal anyway. I think it's overrated. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts, Joan, before we,
Okay, so
we dive
over
back in?
what is normal though, right? Normal is so
Yeah.
subjective, and it goes by societal norms. And what is
Mm.
societal norms? We just talked about it. It's like following the flock and being a sheep. Why would you want to do that?
Mhm.
Why would you want to be the black sheep that stands out in the crowd and does their own? So before, I have a story about, so someone came to see me that had autism, or no, they didn't have
Mhm.
autism, but I kind of suspected they might have a little bit, right? And she was having problems trying to make friends and all this stuff. Turns out it was something that she had kind of bought into a belief system that kind of held her
Mhm.
back, and it made her not trust a lot of people that were close to her and in society. So she had actually
Mhm.
gone to a doctor to get tested to see if she had autism. And she goes, and then they said she didn't. And I'm like, okay, but you're not weird. And she started laughing out loud, meanwhile bawling at the same time. And she said the
Mhm.
doctor had told her, you're just weird. Right? And I told her, I'm like, listen, you're coming to see me, someone that talks to dead people and sees spirits everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
like, I am the epitome of weird. I'm like, is there anything wrong with that? And she kind of looked at me and said, no, that's actually kind of cool. And I'm like, there you go. So weird isn't a bad thing. It is, embrace it, love it, and then you can be more, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Oh,
I
and
would agree with you. We can't really rely on the labels they use
no,
to put us in a box that says we're defective. I resent that. I do not actually see autistic and ADHD people as being weird at all. To me, they're
no,
much more closer to what I understand, more honest and more loving people. And I find that everybody in the so-called normal world, those patterns of social behavior, for me, that's disturbing. That is disturbing that I go out and spend a couple hours around other people and I can't tell the truth because they'll be offended. I can't let my language slip because, oh my God, they'll be offended. And it's all about protecting the so called normies into thinking that they're okay and that we're not. Well, I'm not here to be a contrast position. And it's actually atypical neurology. And it's really common and it's really
yeah,
getting even more popular. So let's just see.
right.
Awesome.
Like it is just one of those things. And okay, so another
Mm.
thing, you say they replace that surgery with meds, right? And again,
Yeah.
this is based on my own experience. I'm not a medical professional or anything like that, but I was based on my experience. I had gone through something traumatic and I needed to calm down and I needed to sleep. And so I was given some Ativan. And I tell you, I was given the lowest dose, but when I took it, I felt like I had someone sitting on top of my brain, sitting
Yeah.
right here in front of my third eye. I wanted to like rip it off. I couldn't, like, it just felt worse because I could feel like it was like someone was pushing down on me quite a
Mhm,
bit.
mhm,
And then the next day, I had the biggest freaking hangover there was. I was throwing up, I was whatever. And I was like, okay, never again. But that was me, right? And
mhm.
because this is always open for me. And
Yes.
they,
Yes,
they
absolutely.
close.
So you felt it being blocked.
Yes, it was an instant. It was like I was like, like if something, it's hard because when you like if you put a cut, if you have a cut on your forehead and you put a band-aid on there, you can really feel it, right? Because it's one of those things. It's like, what is this thing? Can you get it off? But this, it wouldn't go away. And then my body, again, it wasn't even the next day. I started purging, like throwing up like crazy within like probably 5 hours. It's like, get this off of me. It's like, so my body was
Yeah.
like trying to heave it out. And this was only like the lowest dose there is, right? So again, um, that's what stuff does. And some people like it, some people don't. And I'm going to tell you, it was not for me. I would rather feel the other stuff and it than feel that.
Yeah.
I was
I,
like,
um, I I did what, well, I shouldn't say I did what other people in the live chat are talking about, but sort of like I didn't want to be weird. I've been weird all my life, didn't fit in, being laughed at. And of course, I was also very large, over 320 pounds through most of my adult life. So then they got to make fun of me for that too. And obviously, I was stupid because if I wasn't stupid, I'd know how to eat right and lose weight. Like, I just, the social reality is to me so cruel and full of
mhm.
bullshit. And, I don't blame people in the chat and for me for pushing it aside. But I keep forgetting what I was going to say, but I wanted to mention that I didn't want to be weird and I didn't want to be psychic and I didn't want to have connection with other realms. I just wanted to be left alone and be normal. And so I went to the psychiatrist and I went to the psychologist and I went to the doctors and I gladly took all their pills. And I was on anti-anxiety medications, antipsychotic medications, antidepressants, the old kind as well as the SSRIs. I was on anti-seizure medications. And every time I would go once a month to see the psychiatrist, he'd just go, okay, you're not getting the results you want here. Let's change it to another cocktail for you to take. And I ended up in such a mess that I ended up quitting everything. And I didn't know how dangerous that was. And it put me in, I'm not going to talk about it because it was so negative. It put me in a really, really bad place for a long time to recover. And now I don't take any pharmaceuticals, not even an aspirin, not an Advil, nothing. I don't trust any of it. But that's just my personal experience and my personal opinion. And I'm not trying to encourage any of you to skirt around medical care if that's what you need. I have to say all this, otherwise my video will just be taken down, right?
But the thing is, you
So I
got to
wanted,
right? Like,
it didn't
you
make
know what
me,
you gotta do.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is it didn't make me normal, and it did stop the paranormal stuff until, oh, I don't know, maybe a few years after I quit it all. And then, wow, the floodgates were open and I was in touch with all kinds of stuff. And by this time, I was ready for it and I welcomed it. So, sorry, go ahead, Joan.
No, no, no. Like I just say, again, you got to do what's right for you. These are just our experiences. I also do not take any medical prescription drugs currently. I was asked to do a depression med before, and I was like, something in my gut told me not to. And so I didn't. And then when I did it this time, because I really felt like I just needed something, um, like, because it was so traumatic. I was,
Mhm.
let me see, right? Like, so I needed to get that out. And then once I did that, like I was hesitant getting it. And then I thought, you know what? Stop being weird about this and just do it. Okay. So I did. And then that was my experience. And now it's thank you, no thank you. Right. But that was,
Mhm.
again, that's me. And, I embrace my weirdness. And, if I go back, would I say I wanted to be psychic? No, but I never knew I was. I didn't realize it because, again, I didn't have anyone to talk to. And when I would say some certain things, people are like, oh, yeah, she's just weird. Right. So I was like, yeah, I am weird. Right. And and I embraced that as a little kid, even like, yeah, I'm weird. I'm quirky and I'm totally fine with that. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm. So this is an interesting comment from Hillbilly Herb says, I have to go to therapy because my mother and grandmother and those before them didn't. Yeah, good point. Good point.
Mhm.
Somebody has to stop the intergenerational dysfunction for sure. I myself quit going to see counselors because and also in Canada, it's very difficult to get in to see a psychiatrist. You can't actually see, at least this is what I was told, you can't actually see a psychiatrist in Alberta unless you try to kill yourself. And
Really?
when I was told that, I went, are you crazy? If I was going to kill myself, try to kill myself to get to see a doctor, then I really would need it for sure. But that would be crazy for me to do that to myself, to do that level of self-harm. And you want me to do that as a procedure. But then those of you who know about the MAID program in Canada, that won't surprise you. And of course, those of you who are Canadian. But I found this very difficult to get proper care. So I'd go see a counselor, and obviously I'm better adjusted than they are. I don't know where they get their training. A lot of ego, a lot of problems. And then they go, okay, well, if you don't have, I don't know, $10,000 to pay for your therapy, you only get 4 sessions. Well, what the hell are you supposed to do with that? So I'm
Nothing.
sorry, I'm going on a rant about the mental health issues, service issues here in Canada, but I'm sure you're all getting the point. And so the other thing is, if the mental health practitioner has not had a paranormal experience, has not had unseen beings contact, they're going to just think we're crazy. And
Mhm.
I just find the whole thing so frustrating. I've just walked away from all of it. I just can't handle it. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be so nasty today, but it seems to
It's
be.
so
I, I,
Karen.
I I have a hard time lying, so I'll just tell you that. Go ahead.
It's okay. So Karen, which is interesting that you say you need to want to unalive yourself in order. That is not my experience. I had actually gone to neurofeedback, and they have psychologists on staff. And when I was going through my thing, they had said, "Do you want us to refer you to our psychiatrist?" And so it was
Mhm,
like just like that. And it was, but so I don't know if it's because I wasn't doing it through conventional medical doctor, right?
mhm,
Be- I
mhm,
was going through neurofeedback, and they have psychologists on staff. They could do it themselves. And neurofeedback is where they, put the electrodes on your head to stimulate different parts of your brain. So
mhm,
you can remember, or you can so it can wake up parts of the brain that are turning off because of trauma and all this stuff.
mhm.
Yes, so
Well,
that's
I'm
interesting.
glad you had a better experience. I did get to see one psychiatrist. This is when I first moved here. My mother had just died. I had had a manic episode and threw everything into a U-Haul and moved lock, stock, and barrel to Alberta and thought I was going to do all these things and then crashed after I got here. So anyway, and I went to see him, and what he said to me was, I am not going to support anything that you do because I can't remember the name of the association, but the one that all the psychiatrists belong to. He says, we had a meeting, we decided we don't want any mental defectives in Alberta. So we're not going to support anybody who moves in from another province because we don't want a whole bunch of mental defectives here in Alberta. And
Goodness.
I was like, holy shit, this guy's really fucked up. And I never went back because no, I don't need that, you
Hmm.
know? So I don't know, maybe it's just me, my talent. I have a talent to draw out the worst in mental health practitioners, but yeah, that's how it was for
But
me.
I feel like that could be mainstream, because when I did look for a family member that needed,
Mhm.
and it was through a doctor, I'm going to tell you, not cool. Like,
Mm,
they were very hoity-toity, and they felt like they were holier than thou, and that's not cool. For the other way, like I had seen a no, I think he was a psychiatrist, and he actually did past life regressions, Karen. Right? So
wow.
yeah, and he helped me with my gifts, and he would talk about that. And so I think it's like you need to find one through word of mouth, because your conventionalist ones through mainstream, again,
Mhm,
this is through my experience, not like it, they feel like they're Sigmund Freud, and they know everything about like all the deals with everything. So
mhm.
I feel like you gotta
Yes,
find
no,
something
yeah,
to
I
know.
just got so traumatized by it all, I didn't wanna go back. I just went, "You know what? Besides that, the truth of the matter is I don't take their pills, I'm not gonna take their pills. I see all the holes in their therapy, I see that they're not that well put together themselves. It's like, physician, heal yourself," you know? And then I thought, I'm not crazy. Instead, I'm just going to embrace my weirdness. And it was the best medicine for me. So I wanted to say to Hillbilly Herb before we move on, you know what? We are a community. Come to the live chat. Be part of our community. Be part of our family. I mean, I can't do therapeutic stuff for you, but you might not need it when you get some love and acceptance. That
Yeah.
might be more valuable and more therapeutic for you. You might be brave enough to try to have some spiritual experiences. You might find amazing stuff possible, and you'll learn from the other people in the chat, me, my guests. It's a great community. So welcome, welcome. And oh God, Denise, thank you so much for the super chat. I really, really appreciate you. Not just for the super chats. Hun, you don't need to give me any super chats for me to love you, but you've just been such a good friend to me, and I appreciate you so very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, well, now we got a question for Karen. Was there a connection between the transdimensional experiences and the changes you experienced that set you towards the path you're on? Oh, yeah. It wasn't till after I quit all the medications, and not just that, but I also changed my lifestyle. I was very cautious about what I ate, getting enough sleep. I started staying away from crappy people. Like everything I could do, I started to do. And then the spiritual experiences started. So it was in the mid 1990s, around the time that I was got my diagnosis, although I have no official paperwork to prove so, that I had my angelic experience at that very low point in my life. And then it was about 5 years later that I had my ET experience. And around that same time is when I got the download for the Quantum Health Transformation Program, which is on my website. And there's a YouTube playlist on my channel. It's absolutely free. And it just filled me up with so much information that made me go nuts. So I have gone kind of nuts, but I have gone nuts after getting a huge download, which is a terrific amount of information that just lands in your brain and then it unfolds over time. That's hard to deal with. Angelic contact and also ET contact. So, probably best I just embrace my weirdness and love my friends, visible and invisible. Yeah. Sorry. Go
Yes.
ahead, Joan.
I would say that uh, you change the wording from going nuts to just being awakened to see the
Yeah.
truth, right?
Yeah.
And again, you know what's best for you. And it really saddens me that you had that experience, because the ones that I saw never pushed any drugs. They never made
Oh,
me or
that's
pushed me to take anything.
No, they would say to me, "What meds are you on?" I'd say, "None." They'd say, "Okay, well, the first thing we gotta do is get you on the SSRIs, the anti-seizure medications, and we gotta get you on this, that, and the next thing." And when I say, "No, thank you," they go, "Well, obviously you don't want any help. Why are you coming to see us? And I'm not gonna treat you until you get on your medication. Get back on your meds, and then we'll talk to you." And I'm like, oh my God, these people are insane and they're supposed to be mental health. Oh my God.
Mm.
So I'm just telling you how I see it.
Right? Like,
Maybe.
and mine, they went, okay, so well, let's put you in a trance. Let's bring you back to certain parts of your life. Okay, we're going to take you back. We'll see if you have a past life experience that's putting you through this. Like, again, it was like, well, let's put you in a trance inducive state to see where this is. Maybe you do
Mhm.
need meds, maybe you don't. But in order to find that, let's do all this stuff. But, again, I love it. And, we have to listen to our invisible guides because they're all around us. They're always around us. Even when we're walking across the street and we're not paying attention, all of a sudden, you kind of feel like you get pushed and you're like, whoa, what's
Mhm.
that? And then a car whizzes by you, and it's because they made sure you didn't get run over.
And that has happened to me on several occasions. I have
Right?
had a lot of spiritual encouragement. And I'll do another video in the new year about my miraculous manifestations, where I have been helped by unseen forces in absolutely miraculous ways. One was I was in a house that got condemned and how that sorted itself out. I could never have planned it as wonderful as how it just happened. So I know that these invisible guides can actually manipulate our reality to help us. I mean, if we have no money and the plumbing is gone and the health inspector's telling you you have to get out of the house and you don't know what to do, all I did was pray. I'm not an overly religious person. I just prayed. I just said to the universe, I can't handle this. I have no idea what to do. I was a little preoccupied at the time. I had just was about to check myself in, and I did check myself into residential treatment because I had an alcohol problem, and I didn't want it to hurt my kids or my family, and I knew it needed dealing with. So so there's all that. And sorry, I'm really tired today. My mind is just going off all over the place. Joan was so good to come and join me today so that I wasn't doing the show by myself because she knew I wasn't feeling too good. So I don't mean to complain to everybody. I'm okay. Everything is okay. But I just want you all to know that I've had some miraculous experiences that I won't deny and I can't deny. And then there's the ET contact and even the book I published. Like, how the heck did that happen? I don't know, but I like it and I like my new friends and I'm not changing. So,
Invisible.
100 years ago, we would have been burned as witches, I'm sure. Do you want to say anything about the history of psychic abilities and paranormal?
Do I? Okay, so
Yeah.
the one thing I wanted to say also is if you want to kind of understand your invisible guides, you can just talk to them normal, right? If you feel weird just talking it to the air, then that's a you issue. But if
Exactly.
but if
Exactly.
you have a problem with it, pretend you're praying and then you're fine, right? But you could ask them to show you something that you've been missing or give you a surprise, right? And they will give you it. You just can't go, okay, I asked you surprise, it should be here in 2 seconds. That's not what it is, right? It's
It never seems to
allowed,
come the way you expect, but when
right?
it comes, it knocks your socks off because it's so incredibly obvious. And sorry for interrupting, Joan, but I just wanted to also add, for the longest time, I would ask my guides for proof. I would ask my guides for proof because I didn't trust it. I didn't trust myself. I didn't know if I was crazy or not. But I'm going to tell you, every single person who goes to church or is religious and they pray, regardless of their religion, often they get their prayers answered. That's interdimensional communication. That is communication with unseen guides, unseen forces. And we've been doing it all along. And so the thing is that I don't think you have to be a special kind of person to be able to have contact. But it's funny in the beginning because when you talk, I often talk out loud to my guides as though I'm having a conversation with them. I can understand their response and I can talk to them. And for the longest time too, I felt really stupid doing it, but I just kept doing it and I got the rewards.
Right? Like, yeah, like prayers are like all usually always answered, but the when they're not is because you're too invested in that prayer, like whatever
Hmm.
you've asked for. Like you can't just say, okay, I've asked, all right, when is it? Is it here now? Is where is it? Right? Like we gotta let go. It's like, when we put wishes out into the universe, and
Hmm.
most people to put wishes out, now this is very bad for the environment, and I don't, if you're going to do it, try and find an organic way to do it, but they let go of balloons. Why? Because it's a physical thing. If you put that wish in that balloon and you let it go, but if you're attached to that, it's just like hanging on to that balloon. It will forever follow you, and that wish will never be fulfilled because it's like, I will love you and squeeze you, but
Hmm.
precious, right? The moment you let it go, you can feel that release. Or, oh, actually, a better way to do it, they just showed me, is you can get a butterfly in a box, and then you put your wishes and your dreams whisper it into the butterfly, and then you open the box and you see them fly away.
It's beautiful. That's
Right?
really beautiful.
Yeah, that's how
So
you manifest.
I just want to clarify one thing, and that is I run into trouble when I try to do it myself. When I think I know best, when I think I know what I need to do, when I'm trying to make things happen, that's when it tends to not happen. It isn't until I turn it over and let the universe or universal consciousness or God, angels, ET, whatever you believe in, let them do the heavy lifting. Let them do the work, and you just sit back and wait to be completely surprised. Now, sometimes nothing happens, and I'm not sure what that's about. Joan, maybe you can address that. But often, it's because I'm trying, I got to get out of my own way. Let me just put it that way.
Yes. That's exactly, I was just going to tell you, it's just because it's again, use the analogy of the balloon, Karen. It's the same thing. You've let go a little bit, but the string is super long, so you can no longer see the balloon, but you're still itty bitty hanging on to that balloon, right? So if you can just let go and just go, okay, I surrender to it, right? And it's letting go of the expectation that whatever it should be in a certain way. Like, I know you don't have those expectations, but it's a minute thing from the past that you bought and sold. If I asked, it should kind of come back in a certain form, like right wham. But sometimes it's subtle and we don't realize it's there, right? So a good way of doing that is to journal, right? When you journal like, thank you for, and just let it, and you see it. And I did that for, how long did I do it? I think I did it for 8 months straight, every day, religiously. And it would take me half an hour, 45 minutes, and the list would start to get a little bit longer because I'd add more. And then your books would be done, and I would just leave them, right? You don't look at them, you just leave it. And then you just start to see things, all these coincidences, and they just, or the, not necessarily coincidence, the synchronicities just start to pop. Do you know what I mean? So I would say for you, it would just write it down, and then if you want, you can crumple the piece of paper. But I know you kind of like a little bit of order, so I would write it and
Quite a
then
bit
put
of
it
order.
on the shelf. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And actually, I have done that. That's how I got into the house that we live in
There
now.
you go.
I wrote it in I call it my magic journal. And what I do is I write exactly what I want. I spend time thinking about it, crafting it. I write it down, but I write it down as though it's already happened.
Yes.
And then I have to close the book and forget about it. And that's how I got into the house that
There
we're
you go.
in now, which is everything I ever dreamed that I could have in a home. I mean, it's fairly modest. Don't get me wrong. It's not a mansion or anything, but I don't want that. What I wanted was private yard and, a garage and a gardening shed and
An
sun
actual
shining
life.
in
Yeah.
all day and everything I wanted. And that's how it came to me. So again, I had to completely get out of my way. I had to turn it over, and I reserve. I don't do that all the time. I reserve that process for stuff that's really important, like my quality of life, where I live, and things like that. If I had a health issue or something, I would use my magic journal. But it really works,
So
Joan. It really does.
try create another magic journal for everyday stuff. Do you know what I mean? And then that will help you get out of your way, because it's the same thing. You just write and then you put it away, and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to ask for this. Okay. And then put it
Yeah.
away. Right? Because that's the easiest, because your magic journal for big stuff has actually come to fruition, and you're like, yeah, I know I can do this, right? So if you recreate it, maybe it's a littler book from the Dollarama, right? A little notebook, and then you shove it in there. It gives you that same, oh, okay, and then you let go.
Excellent advice. Excellent. Now we're getting close to the end of the show. Those of you in the live chat, I want to remind you that on the 14th of December, on Sunday, the Aliens and Angels podcast, we are going to have kind of a little social get together. Those of you who would like to come up on the stage like Joan is right now and tell us who you are and how you got interested in all this pretty weird stuff you find on my channels. And if you don't want to or you're shy, you don't have to, of course. But I'll be putting the link in the chat on the 14th and y'all can join me. And I'm hoping Denise will be able to make it. No pressure, Denise. If you can't, that's totally okay. But we want to make sure I'm going to need strong moderators for that show. It might go completely well. We might just bring the regulars and the members up on, and we might have a great visit. But also there's a high potential for shenanigans when you put the link into the chat. And so I'm just going to need a little bit of support, monitoring who's coming on board, who's not. And some people, it's not a good idea to have them on because they don't have self-regulation. I'll just call it that. So I want everyone to know about that. Joan, anybody in the chat that has anything they want to say? This is cute. Fearlessly, she says, mental and energetic potluck. Fantastic. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It's
So,
like,
Joan, sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to say it's like the potluck. If you've ever, like, if you go to Costco and you go around like lunch or in the afternoon, my mom always goes, oh, we went to the buffet. You never know what you're going to get, especially there. And that's the buffet that you get sometimes when things are open. But you know what? We're going to put it out to the universe that everyone that's going to see that buffet line is going to be in honor for you and your show.
Thank you. I'm being cautious because my friend Gary May, he's got the Camp G May channel and he has musicians, and if they show up, he puts the link in the description and they get to come up on the stage. But he stopped doing it because he had a couple people come up with their wing wangs hanging out. Let's just call it that.
Nice.
And he learned the hard way that you just can't be doing that. So this will be I don't know what you want to call it, a ding free zone. So there'll be no naughty bits on the show. But I'd love to have you all and hear what you have to say and get to meet you face to face. That would be very, very cool. Let's have a look. I just want to see what Fearlessly said. Maybe get everyone who wants to join in advance for the 14th, have them go and sign up for the newsletter so that you can send it out via the newsletter. That's actually a really good idea. And yeah, whoops, somebody else said open links are playing roulette on YouTube. Yeah, well, it's an experiment, and I just wanted to do this. So anyway, but before we go, Joan, tell everybody what you're up to, where they can find you. I mean, as much as you want to. You may not want to
Of
tell
course.
anybody anything. I don't know, but go for it. And here's your chance to shine and let everybody know about you, where to find you.
I know it went by so quickly. You can find me on Instagram. I've been really kind of not that great on my socials, but you can find me on Instagram, which is Journey at Joan. You can find me on TikTok. I was gifted by the universe of being able to do lives, even though I don't have the 1,000 subscriber or followers yet. So thank you, universe. I don't know how that happened, but it did. So I'm doing more lives on there as well. And I am working on my podcast. I'm getting back on my feet for my podcast. It's called Journey with Joan. And I have a podcast with Karen, The Unseen Nexus. We're co-hosting it together. And you can see me, also see everything on my website, www.joanwiden.com. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you, Karen.
Excellent. So everybody go and sub up to Joan, Journey with Joan, get some all kinds of interesting information. Oh, I want you to just quickly mention some of your services, Joan. Would you do that?
Oh, yes. So I do individual readings. So that's either card readings or mediumship. I also do healings, energy healings. And I also do clearing of spaces, right? I walk you through it. If you're in a different city, I will be on the phone with you. I'll walk you through it. I'll tell you what you need to get, and we'll do it together so that you can understand your space and how to do it. I am holding this space for the energy to be really strong for you. And meanwhile, also in the background, I am doing extra work on that as well to do it. My TikTok name is @clairvoyant_medium, and it has Joan Widen on it too. So, but yes, and so those are some of the things that I do. Thank you, Karen.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joan. I want to thank you so much for joining me today and helping me pick up the pace, because I was feeling a little bit, I don't know, I just not really sick, but super tired. Oh my God, I have no idea what's going on. But let's hope I get more vim and vigor. And I thank you so much, Joan, for joining me. Really added to the show. Always a pleasure to get together with you. We are not going to be doing any Unseen Nexus in December because I have so much other work I need to do. But Joan's going to join us on some of my other shows, and we'll be right back to more Unseen Nexus. We're going to do some predictions for the future. January is going to be all about predictions for the Quantum Guide Show, Aliens and Angels, also Unseen Nexus. And I think you guys will love the lineup coming up for January. But anyway, so I guess that is a bit. Fearlessly says, I will add you. I just, recently on Instagram added Denise and Fearlessly, so I can find them too. So I know we all want to support each other. Thank you, everybody, for coming to the live chat. You've been fantastic. You've been so honest and open about your reality. I just love it. And I have a deep respect and love for each and every one of you. You really help the show to be, I don't know, better, just better and more authentic. And I'm not using too much AI, a little bit for my images, but that's it. I'm not going to use AI for any of the shows on account of it's important for us, in my opinion, to be authentic and to always, deliver the real thing. You never know who's going to watch this and be encouraged by it. And that's really what we're all about, whether we're in the live chat, watching the replay, listening to an audio podcast. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much. So with that, I guess we'll end the show for today. And we'll see you all on Sunday, where we're going to be talking about the MyLabs and the programs that the governments here on Earth, human governments here on Earth, have put together. And it's kind of scary stuff, but it's stuff I haven't covered. So I think it's probably time. So with all that, we'll say bye-bye. Take care, everybody. Have the best week ever. Thank you for joining me for the Quantum Guide Show. Become the change that you wish to see in the world. Subscribe to my YouTube and other channels at Karen Holton TV. Click the like button, leave me a comment, and share this podcast with your friends. Read about my true life ET contact in my book called Transdimensional: Meet the New Neighbors, which is now available in Amazon bookstores worldwide. Check out my website at www.KarenHoltonHealthCoach.com to see my free resources and amazing products and services. All the links will be in the description below. As part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, you will find the Quantum Guide Show with Karen Holton and also the Aliens and Angels podcast on all audio platforms. Until next time, keep up the good work.
Well, thanks, Karen.